Alrighty, hello everyone. So a big topic that has been going on is the UFC switching over their streaming platform, either to Netflix or Amazon. Now, I personally think Netflix is the most likely option that they're going to go with, and it's going to be most ideal. And I know that these are probably most likely not the prices we're going to get, but this is what I think is personally fair to me, and I think would be most likely to get them the most engagement and the most money. Because if we're going to be completely honest here, the pay-per-view is $80, okay, for your standard ESPN pay-per-view. And there's a lot of risk putting your money into a pay-per-view sometimes. Sometimes they can be absolutely terrible. We've had numbered events that have been terrible. They've been stacking them a bit more now, so they're pretty much guaranteed to have some sort of entertainment on it. But we've had absolute stinkers before. But as you can see on the screen here, this is my hypothetical deal. For Netflix subscription, it's $24.99 a month for your premium service. So it's 4K. You can apparently stream up to 6 people onto your whole account or whatever. So that's pretty good. I think we stick with that for people who just want to stick with Netflix Premium and stuff like that. But for your live sports and events, UFC, WWE, whatever else they end up having on there, I think they've been dabbling in other sports as well on there. But I'm thinking $30 to $40 extra a month. They'll probably do something more like 50 to 60 if I'm going to be completely honest, which kind of sucks, but I think $30 $40 for all your fight nights and WWE, Raw, and SmackDown events and stuff like that. Not the pay-per-view big ones and stuff like that. Have that all in that bundle, and you can go back and watch all of them, of course. And I think the other thing too is maybe there's a no commercial kind of subscription. Maybe, I don't know. Because I'm tired of seeing commercials in between fights on ESPN. I'd rather see something else entirely. I'm sure they can make a little here's the next fight, and give a little video time in between then. Maybe show some old clips or something like that, highlight reels, anything else other than commercials. Maybe that could be an option too as well for your live sports, but most likely not. But I think $54.99 a month for all your standard fight nights and standard events and stuff like that. That's pretty reasonable, okay? Typically we get 1 to 2 pay-per-views a month, sometimes just one. And I wanted to go over to right here the schedule that we have lined up. So we got Machado Gary versus Protez, Sanhagen versus Figueiredo, and then May 10th is UFC 315. And then we don't have another numbered event until the 7th, and that is Dvalishvili versus O'Malley 2. And then June 28th, we have UFC 317. So we get 2 pay-per-views that month. And for that, in that case, when you do have those 2 pay-per-views a month, I was thinking maybe even charge $20, $30 for those numbered events for WrestleMania that's coming up. $30 premium stream type service, and maybe have some sort of code so that way it can help prevent people from pirating it and stuff like that. But the biggest issue right now with the UFC and ESPN is when they put on pay-per-view events is that they're very easily pirated. And not that I have a problem with it being distributed freely. It's mainly oftentimes those streams are behind on what's going on, and I want to be exactly on the same time that the network is showing it. Because I've had times where it's 2 or 3 minutes behind, and then I'm seeing a notification on my phone, blah blah blah, so and so knocked out, and it's just oh, dang it, and also they crash. There's lots of other problems with them as well. We need to make sure that Netflix is very easily accessible, and also having a premium type stream. Now there might have to be some upgrades done on their end, because if you watch the Paul versus Tyson fight, the stream was struggling a little bit. Okay, I know they said they had like 50 million people on. They gotta be ready to have 200, 300 million people watching all at the same, all at the same time and stuff like that. But I think this would make them a lot more money, 54.99 a month. Now that's a big it's a big one. It's definitely a big one with already a lot of other subscriptions and stuff like that. But you're getting all of the fight nights and standard events and stuff like that. All that you can go back and watch and, watch live, of course, and stuff like that. I believe too it would get those fight nights more views. Even put on the Apex, it's probably most likely to get more views on Netflix than the ESPN website, if I'm going to be completely honest. And I think Netflix too is just overall more people have that subscription already, and it's something that would be very approachable to upgrade to, and even for your premium events, it's like, hey, UFC 300's on, it's only 25 or $30 or whatever. Like that's great and stuff, Maybe 300 be special because it's a big event. But for all your pay-per-view events, like, UFC 314, 30, if it was $25, you'd have gotten so many more buys and stuff. So, I mean, maybe pay-per-view doesn't have to be gone completely. Maybe it can just be, set at a lower price, but with already a standard subscription to Netflix and stuff like that, or your technically your live sports subscription and stuff like that. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, I can't think of. I mean, obviously they're gonna probably charge a lot more, but I think this is like, for me, this would be fair for me. I would not mind paying for this at all. This would be not out of reach for me to pay a monthly subscription for that, and $20-$30 for my entertainment on a Saturday, and another $20 for food, and $20-$30 for food and drinks. That's just me personally. I don't do a whole party type thing. I normally buy a couple snacks for myself, a couple drinks, but that's about it. I don't go completely crazy. But yeah, I think this is the most ideal hypothetical scenario that we could get out of a UFC Netflix deal. I'd hate to see it stay on ESPN just because, like, it's old. It's old now. It's out of date. It's not with the times, man. Pay-per-view is not with the times anymore. $80 for each event is just, it makes it a lot more approachable when you're able to, kind of splice up the money a little bit. You got $55 for a month, and then $20-$30 for each event. Like, yeah, that's better than thousands of people not paying for it, watching on an illegal stream, and, it's just, this is a lot more approachable. I think this would get a lot more people to pay for to watch for a live event, because the numbers for the pay-per-views probably are going to be a lot higher, even for your standard events, compared to what they would be with your current pay-per-view right now, because they can't count the illegal stream views. So when they get the pay-per-views, I mean, I don't know what the last one made, but I imagine the last one made at least like 200, maybe 175k pay-per-view buys. But yeah. Anyways, on the rest of the schedule, again, we got a lot of fight nights in between, and 1 to 2 events a month. Again, with the $20 to $30 for each event, people are gonna want to snag a deal like that, if I'm gonna be completely honest. But anyways, that's my little ideal hypothetical UFC Netflix deal. Hopefully UFC Netflix come to some sort of agreement, and it's not too much of a penny picture to get these events and stuff like that. But we'll see. But anyways, have a great day.